Secretary Vilsack, thank you so much for joining this year's OFN Conference. Finance Justice and Finance Change is our theme. The CDFI community and the USDA both share a commitment to supporting rural communities, to strengthening the economy and addressing racial and environmental justice. So you and I are in the right place together. So welcome.
Well, it's nice to be back with you, Lisa, and certainly appreciate your service when you worked with us in the previous Obama administration. And the work continues, obviously.
The work continues. That's our theme. So I listened to your testimony, recent congressional testimony, and I thought you did something powerful. You started by sharing 4 big ideas that really drive greater opportunity in rural America. And I don't think our field always gets a chance to hear from you and hear the deeper underlying ideas that animate the work, that climate is actually an opportunity, that combating deep inequity means moving beyond individual redress to also uproot systemic barriers, that there are new opportunities to strengthen the resilience of our supply chain, and that nutrition matters. So you talked about all those 4 things. And I wanted to start this interview with you to give you a chance to say a little more about these big ideas. And you could start wherever you want. I want to make sure and get to climate change and racial equity, but I wanted just to give you the mic for a minute to say a little more.
Well, Lisa, let me start with climate. It is indeed an opportunity. As challenging as it has been with droughts and wildfires and horrific storms, climate does create an opportunity for us to develop new pathways for revenue for farmers, ranchers, and producers. And it also creates potentially an entire supply chain of bio-based manufacturing opportunities. What we hope to be able to do at USDA is to use our existing conservation programs to encourage what we call climate smart technologies and climate smart approaches to farming and ranching and producing. We think that there is an opportunity for us to create a climate smart commodity where consumers will know that they're purchasing items that have been helpful to the environment as opposed to harmful. We think it will also provide an opportunity for us in the export market. By essentially working with farmers to embrace climate smart agriculture and forestry, we have the opportunity as well to qualify those programs and those practices and those farms for ecosystem service benefits, private market, carbon markets, water markets, wildlife markets, things that are being set up to sort of encourage private investment in climate. So there's a dual opportunity here. And the conversion of agricultural waste, which is also an incredibly important component of this, can create biomanufacturing opportunities that create new materials, new fabrics, new fibers, fuel sources, and energy sources, all of which provide additional income opportunities for farmers and jobs for rural residents. On the equity side, there's no question that we have a history, but we really want to look forward. We want to look to the future of a USDA that basically is available to all. And we have an aggressive effort internally to take a look at how we have done business, what kind of barriers may potentially exist and have been created over time because of policies or because of laws that have been passed in an effort to try to create greater equity. We're also just forming an equity commission, which will be outside experts, which will also take a hard look at the way in which we've done business to figure out if there are ways in which we can do a better job of reaching historically underserved communities, producers, farmers, and those who have relied on USDA for quite some time. So we're excited about that opportunity. We think it opens up as well a chance to strengthen our local and regional food system. When we talk about farm income, we're concerned about the fact that nearly 90% of the farms today don't generate the majority of income for the farm families that basically own and operate them. So we need to do a better job of creating more new and better markets. And part of that is creating a local and regional system where small and mid-sized producers have the opportunity to create their own markets as opposed to selling on a commodity-based system that rewards size and technology and efficiency. So there's that opportunity, and that ties into nutrition. The reality is that we'd like to be able to basically fill in the blank with farm to school, farm to hospital, farm to restaurant, farm to local grocery store, in an effort to try to create new jobs and a supply chain that will support those small and mid-sized producers.
Yeah. Well, my hope is that in all those 4 ideas, we can be stronger partners with the Department of Agriculture, with our rural communities. This conference will have many sessions that will look actually at the first topic you talked about, at climate change, and really dig into green finance, the kind of financing that our CDFIs do often in parallel, to really support resilience, to support producers, to support businesses who are converting, to support housing that is converting. So, do you have thoughts on how the USDA can expand some of those partnerships to support climate green finance, we would say, particularly in low income communities?
Well, we're actually looking at a strategy to leverage our resources and to partner, whether it's housing and energy efficiency, or whether it's essentially processing. We have a major initiative to expand processing capacity in this country, to expand existing processing capacity, and to build new processing capacity so that we create greater competition for our farmers, ranchers, and producers. It creates new market opportunities, if you will. We think there's a tremendous opportunities for CDFIs to engage in our new loan guarantee program that we've recently announced. An opportunity to deal with the middle mile, if you will, of a supply chain, cold storage, or warehousing, things of that nature that are desperately needed in order to make our system much more resilient. And we think there is an opportunity for leverage with CDFIs. We think there's a chance with bio-based manufacturing, the conversion of agricultural waste that I alluded to earlier. So I think there are a number of opportunities here. And we have made a concerted effort with a series of webinars. We'll continue to outreach to CDFIs and to other financial organizations that will be aware of what we're doing on the climate side. We, for example, are putting together a fairly large effort to try to fund pilots and demonstration projects that will aggregate a number of producers that will help us create a standard, if you will, for climate smart commodities. Well, there's an opportunity there for our dollars to be leveraged with other resources to expand that mission. So there are multiple opportunities here for partnership, collaboration.
This is great. Our folks are going to really appreciate hearing this. And one of the things I always appreciated about you is the very forward looking. It wasn't, there's nothing static. And that was also true in the way we've been addressing racial equity issues. And can I ask the same partnership question around closing racial gaps in rural America and elsewhere? Are there other ideas you've been working on for more partnership there?
Well, the American Rescue Plan basically created a $1 billion resource to enable us to do a better job of addressing this issue of partnership and connection in our equity effort. We're using these resources initially to fund a number of collaborative efforts with cooperative agreements that will enable us to do a better job of reaching out to folks who have been historically underserved, to make sure they understand and appreciate the programs that are available, and to shepherd and guide them through the programs so that they have success in applying. So there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity as well for CDFIs to help us with figuring out ways in which we can link those producers to more market opportunities, link those producers to land access. We're looking at creative solutions and creative ways to make land more available to these producers. So there are a multitude of ways of CDFIs cooperating with the USDA to get the message out, to get information out, and to help farmers understand and appreciate and link them to markets that exist and to new markets that you all can help us create.
That's really exciting. So one thing we've had our eye on is the $4 billion proposal that's part of the Rural Partnership Program. It was part of the House Agriculture Committee's proposal, part of the Build Back Better program. And we looked at that as flexible grant funding for rural communities to support things like job growth, to build economic resilience and aid economic recovery in communities that have been impacted by economic transitions and climate change. This sounds like the kind of funding that would be so ideal for CDFI partnerships. What's your view? Is this a good thing for us to keep our eye on, to participate if it passes and is signed into law?
Well, there's no question this is a unique opportunity to give us the ability through our rural partnership program and other aspects of the Build Back Better effort to provide resources and essentially enough flexibility to use those resources that in combination we can help communities that have been underserved for far too long create a solid vision based on what their assets may be, what their natural resource advantage may be, and essentially work with them to make that vision a reality using the resources of the Build Back Better effort. There's no question in my mind that there is capacity, there is opportunity for creating what I like to refer to as a circular economy in those rural areas. For far too long, we've had an extraction economy where we've extracted things from those rural communities. We've shipped it someplace else, perhaps an urban center, a suburban area, manufactured or added value in that location, added jobs and opportunities in that location, but not in the rural community. That basically was the genesis of it all. So what we'd like to be able to do is create more of a circular economy where the value is added in that area where the resource is. And I think this flexible resource creates a tremendous opportunity for us to see significant investment, teach folks how to how to play the game, if you will, and in doing so,
Yes.
I think create a decade or more of economic activity long overdue.
Yeah. Oh, well, we are watching this with real hope. I want to make sure we cover housing. I think one of the surprises I had when I was serving as your undersecretary is that people didn't always associate housing with the Department of Agriculture. And I wanted to ask, can USDA's housing work be a greater source of partnerships that you could have with CDFIs?
Well, we have a serious issue with housing, both in terms of new housing and in terms of rehabbing existing housing, and also making it energy efficient and utilizing our housing stock as a way of reducing our dependence on fossil fuels and so forth. So, I mean, there's tremendous opportunity here. You're not alone in being surprised about how few people understand and appreciate that we're in the housing business. The reality is, I remember having a conversation with President Obama about this, and it turned out that he wasn't aware of the fact that USDA did housing loans and that we had over 1 million housing loans in our portfolio. There are a number of different ways in which we can partner. There's our direct single family home loan program. There is the guarantee program, and there are a multitude of ways in which we can partner on home ownership and on home repair and on energy efficiency. And would certainly encourage people to look for ways in which they could work with the state rural development directors in their respective states. Make that contact, and these folks are now going to be appointed. We're getting those appointments out. And as soon as you learn about the individual who's in charge of rural development in your specific state, make a contact, make an outreach, learn about the programs, because I think there's enormous opportunity for collaboration there.
I'm going to end on that note of collaboration. You were always someone who looked for partners. And one of my highest joys in serving with you was the Uplift America CF for Lending partnership, where we reached 20 different lenders with USDA money and put 400 million to good use. And I'm proud to tell you that many of those projects have continued. And I really hope that we will be able to work for new ways at finding partnerships with our field, with CDFIs, and with the USDA. I think it's always hard to do new things. And I want to commend you for digging in for your big four ideas, which I think are so emblematic of the unfinished work and potential. So I just want to thank you. We're kind of at our time. But any final things to say to our group?
We are not only looking for partners, we need partners. The reality is the government can't do it alone, nor can the nonprofit or the private sector do it alone. It does require collaboration of all three in order for us to rebuild and revitalize the rural economy, to convert it from an extraction economy to a circular economy. And we're looking forward to a multitude of opportunities through our Rural Prosperity Corps, which is similar to Strike Force that was established in the Obama administration, through the Rural Partnership Program, and through all the opportunities for equity and climate that we've discussed briefly today. Enormous opportunity for partnership, and we look forward to working with you, and certainly appreciate the work that you did with Uplift America, and it's great to know that it's still providing dividends.
Well, thank you, Secretary Vilsack. On behalf of OFN and our members, all of the sponsors, and all of the people who are listening today, we just thank you for your time today and for your continued leadership and support of the work of community development financial institutions and for our rural communities. Thank you.
Happy to be here and happy to partner with you. Good to see you again.
Great to see you again. Thank you so much.